Cabo, everybody.
Cabo.
Welcome, peace and blessings. I am IFA Jamini Ray.
And I am IFA Tegunshe.
And you are tuned in to
the best,
the greatest
podcast
on
the planet
Earth.
Let's talk IFA.
Ashe wa.
Ashe.
Ashe Wadupe. Greetings, peace and blessings to everybody that's out there. Thank you for your support and the love. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Ashe.
Ashe.
Welcome to the second episode of Let's Talk IFA Q&A. This is where a segment where we will take a question, just pick a random question from our viewers and our listeners. If you have any question that you want us to address, then we're just picking some of those questions, and then we just take a few moments to address that. So today's question is, or kind of a request from one of my viewers. Can we get a podcast segment on cultural restoration and the key components of it? Because people think culture is just voodoo and hexes and forget the reason for the culture in America. So I think that is a great request and a question. I think it's timely. I know we've touched on it a little before, but we figured we would do this Q&A session on this topic just to reiterate this a little bit, because I think it's extremely important right now. Right?
Yeah, Benny.
And I'll start off real quick. I was just telling my brother earlier, I know it's probably going to piss a few people off, but that's okay. A lot of people Sundays is football all day.
Oh my gosh.
Thursday night, whatever the nights is, William Cooper, the brother that died, the ex-CIA, FBI, whoever he was, he wrote the book, Behold the Pale White Horse. He talked about distractions and how in ancient times in Rome, how like the Colosseums and all that, when they used to fight to the death and all that, that was their version of the football, but also of the distraction.
Yes.
Just sports in general. Sports is great. It's good. It teaches you things and it's okay. And I mean, you got that aspect of it. That's good. But as far as the statement that, in this case, the young lady, our listener, made, I think that most of us have definitely lost the purpose of the cultural restoration movement in this country, right? And if you know the history, that was directly tied to Pan-Africanism, to Black African nationalism, to revolutionaryism. And the revolution starts in your mind first, with you and your family and then your community. So with us as Omo Duduwa, Omo Ekaro Ojire people, right, Omo Yoruba people, the cultural restoration movement was, it was established so that we could refine ourselves and reconnect with our African selves through our ancestors and our traditions, our Isheshe, right, the traditions of our mothers and fathers of lost times of old, of the ancestors. And it wasn't just to get pots and do hexes and curses and voodoo on people. You got the spiritual component, which is for spiritual growth and enlightenment, protection and blessings and helping achieve your destiny and all those things. But also it was for us to be a collective force and to move and operate independently as a nation and, with power, and link up with our brothers and sisters in Africa to create a global nation, right, of African-centered people.
I think that was part of the Garvey movement, and a lot of those pioneers from the 50s and the 60s, even I would say the 40s, Pan-Africanists, they didn't sit around on Sunday and watch football or
all
basketball, or they didn't go to a sports bar and sit down and drink beer and watch the football game, or go in their garage and sit on the couch and watch the football game and nod off.
We too comfortable.
We living in this time, we are too comfortable because there's too many vices to make you comfortable. You got the big screen TV. That alone sucks you in. So by the time your Sunday is over, Monday they gotta go to work. They're back on that clock. They're back on that 9 to 5. How do you have time to do anything in your community to help your people? Because from Monday to Saturday, I'm gonna say Saturday because some people work on Saturday. By the time Sunday come, they go to church. After church, they go to the sports bar, they go home and watch the game. And then Monday again, it's the same clock. It's the same robotic clone type operation that goes on. So what brothers and sisters have time to even do things in their community, even for their children?
Yeah.
Because cultural restoration, when I came up in Oyotunji, it is a saying, for rest is not a thing of the day, nor sleep a thing of the night. And it's not literally saying that you don't get no rest, but it's like when you wake up, you working.
Yeah.
Either you are physically working, building a house, or you mentally working.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the concept of, for rest is not a thing of the day, nor sleep is a thing of the night. As a man,
right?
Your job is to build a nation. So now we come to, the people that's in the culture, because a lot of people in the culture follow that same process. Mm-hmm. They'll wear the regalia and put on the regalia and the big chiefs and babalawos and stuff like that. I even seen some of them on Sunday watching football.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, or they doing the divination and the ball, and after that they go watch the game. Once they I didn't have victory in doing my spiritual work.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to sit down and watch football.
That's the rest of the day.
That's the rest of the day is over. But what are you doing to build anything and bring the people together in your community to educate them on history, to educate these young kids? Because all of that is part of cultural restoration, is educating man, woman, and child in your community about their history. This is supposed to be every single day. We as African people, especially in the diaspora, we don't have time to be sitting on our butts looking at football.
Not all day.
Not all day. But our people were stuck in that cycle, as you said, that distraction. And it's and you see it, it's powerful.
Yeah. It's even on top of that, before you even get to the distractions, they've already have our minds, because our mind is already not focused on that. So now the distraction is an overlay on top of that, right? Because if we still had the right mindset, we would make the time and we will cut those distractions out. But the distractions are just the icing on the cake. The cake is already baked, because most peoples are not even thinking about that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
So cultural restoration is not about just having the bembe.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about just parading through the street.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about just going to the river and doing the bembe at the river, or doing the bembe in the hall.
Doing sacrifices.
And doing sacrifices and doing readings. No, cultural restoration is, one, unifying the people, educating them, and actually buying land and building houses and institutions for education.
Educating our own children.
That land.
There you go.
Is land. Where we need to get land. Kanye West said, America is for sale. What the heck is black people doing?
Yeah. No, you know what we doing? We in the club getting the tables. That's the new land right there. You go in and spend $600, $700, $800, $900 on the table.
That's a lot of money.
And do like this, where they bring out the champagne with the sparkles and all that, and everybody fronting and everybody doing this. Yeah, look at me. I'm spending all my money in here. I don't own no land. We ain't gonna educating our own kids, but I'm looking good though.
Yeah.
In here with the bottles popping, and we got our own section. Everybody look at me. This device right here can be your best friend, our greatest weapon, or our worst enemy. And right now, for the most part, it's our worst enemy because we got this to distract us. We together, we got technology now, but we're more, people in general, society is more disconnected than we've ever been, because we could all be out together and look, everybody doing this, and doing this and doing this, and we're not educating our own kids, we're not making our own products, we're not buying our own land, we're not building our own houses, we don't have our institutions, we're not doing the things that are progressive that the ancestors did before us. And that was the reason for this movement, was to help us have some real power, which is the unity of us. And now you got, like you said, the Elays is so separate and so divided, and everybody's attention is so scattered. There's not a mission or a goal of the Yoruba people here. And we have a lot of potential power. We need to tap into it.
You know how they say America is divided, right? America is divided. As African people, especially here in the diaspora, we don't supposed to be part of that division.
Nope.
This is our time to unite. Let them be divided. But this is our time to unify. But it's almost like we fall right into the trap of division because we doing it to each other. I don't care how you practice. What can we do together? I don't care how many Odus you can chant, or I don't care if you call yourself Isheshe and, you Isheshe, I'm Isheshe and you Oyotunji, so I can't deal with you, or I'm Isheshe and you Lukumi, I can't deal with you, or I'm Isheshe and you're Candomblé or Santeria, I can't deal with you, I'm over here. But what are you building? Like, we fall into that trap of not being social based on some cliquish idea.
Oh, because them Oyotunji boys, they use Florida water.
Use Florida water.
They're not as Shay. I'm sorry.
and they work.
Somebody just recently,
and they worship saints.
When our people in Atlanta just recently hit us up and said they went and spoke to a brother they saw, and went and greeted the brother. The brother had on his Yoruba attire, and then they got into a conversation, and the brother said, "Oh yeah, Oyotunji, oh no, I don't mess with them. Them boys messing with that Florida water. They don't. I do it shit. The boys worshiping saints down there." Guarantee this man has never been to the village a day in their life. I've never seen a saint in the village.
Never ever. All I seen is cultural restoration, because most of the times we down there building and it's like, but
that's an example though, right, of what we're talking about.
Right.
That's an example of the distractions and the division.
But my problem with that is, I'm like, if we're so powerful, if we have all of this ashe and these great big titles, we are falling into the same American system of division. You can't say we're not a part of that, because we are. Yeah. We fall victim to the same thing that the Democrats be saying, America is divided. We got to bring America together. African people, I don't care if you Isheshe, I don't care what you are, we fall right into that same trap of being divided because we following the same church idea of I'm breaking away from this church and I'm going to start my own church. I ain't messing with that church over there no more.
Yeah.
We fall right into that same thing. That is not cultural restoration. We supposed to be restoring what we lost, what was stolen, what was beaten out of us. That our job is to restore that. And if you know anything about not just Yoruba from West Africa, but Africans all over in general, you know that if you look at every indigenous African culture, it's about unity. It's about family. It's about institution.
I am because we are. Yeah, all of those things. And those are the things that are missing.
And that's the power that we have.
That's the power.
That's our power is through unity. That family over there can, they might throw the Opwele and, you know, they may read the Opwele different than that family of IFA people over there, but who cares? What can we do together?
What's more important is, number one, the end result. Number two, like you said, what can we do together? We don't have to, you know, be best friends. We don't have to, like, agree on everything, but there's more that we can agree on than, you know what I'm saying, that can be disagreed on. That's what we need to focus on. That is the purpose of the cultural restoration movement, which to give our children a sense of self-worth and pride and honor, and so they know that they come from somewhere, so nobody can tell them anything, so they don't think they're ugly and they don't want the white doll instead of the black doll.
Like they did in the 60s,
all of that.
Doing, you know, the Jim Crow and all of that. Like, you know, all of this great power that we say we have as Ifa Isheshe, I don't think we know how to unify. I think we just completely lost what this is all about because you just see little pockets of Orisha Iles here, pocket over here, and it's nobody can get together. Nobody can get together to build a temple like they got in Atlanta.
Right.
The Hindu temple. And all of the Hindus in Atlanta.
Like IBSC said, it should be one Yoruba temple. Yeah, I mean, you can have your different, but it should be one place where everybody can come and congregate and
talk business and put their offerings down to the same Orishas that everybody worship.
Yeah, I think that we need to start attaching a business / nation building meeting to every Bembe before the Bembe start, because you know after the Bembe is over, we got to do that. Yeah,
everybody done danced and shake their booty,
drink and all that,
and
we need to do that before.
Drummed and fell all out on the floor and eyes done roll back and shake, and by that time that's over. You can't talk business.
Yeah. We got to do that before. What are we doing in the community? What are we doing with growing the food? What are we doing with educating the kids? What are we doing with this business? That let's talk about those things. Then that's going to make the Bembe more powerful. Then we really going to get possessed then.
By the spirit of doing some work.
I say.
And possessed by doing business.
Unity and business.
Because that's what brings us together. What brings us together is how we can relate to each other on politically, spiritually, financially. You know, that's what the unity is about. Historically or history, how can we relate with each other? You know, that is the key.
And leverage each other. We talk about these things a lot, where the money should circulate at least 12 times in the community, and we already spending this money. Everybody's spending money on a lot of the same things, the basic necessities that we have. So part of the thing that should come out of the cultural restoration movement is, okay, everybody, all the basic essentials of the household, we should be controlling our own industry. The beauty, the hair, whatever it is, we should be controlling that and supporting each other. Even if we don't see eye to eye or such and such got into it or whatever. Our problem is after that we done. Other nations and other communities don't operate like that because they understand that they can't operate like that because it's just detrimental to the whole, right? So you got to operate a certain way, even though we may not agree on certain things or whatever, we still got to handle this business that needs to be handled.
Yeah, I'm tired of going to other cultures' restaurants, and I don't see none of our restaurants like Orisha. Where's the Orisha Oko restaurant? You know, like
you just gave somebody an idea.
I hope so. I hope it's black people because I'm not even going to ask for no percentage. I'm glad I just pitched the idea.
It's going to be some Chinese people. Orisha Oko. Welcome.
Please don't do that.
Welcome.
Oh my God! Don't say that. Don't say that.
If we don't do it, they will. That's already been proven. Everything that we should be doing and selling to each other, everybody else is doing it and they mastering it. That's how you get paid. Find out what black folks like and open a store, put it in their neighborhood and sell it to them so we can get rich.
Don't the Asians got a village in Nigeria?
Man, I'm sure they
got
do.
a village over there. Yeah. They about to damn start. They're going to have the Orishas in the Chinese restaurant in a minute if we don't.
See, they already got their deities. They just,
they're going to have our deities business.
Now. They might as well.
People.
Yeah.
Because they have their deities like right at the counter where you spend your money.
So, let's not focus on curses and hexes and, all that stuff.
And then speaking on that part, is like, is that the only thing? Because I saw something today on the Let's Talk IFA message on TikTok where one of the guys said, him and his female, his wife or his girlfriend joined the Ile, and then something happened, and then he got afraid that somebody was doing something to break them up, and so they left. And I'm like, wow, like ever since I've been little, that's all I hear is like people get really afraid that somebody is doing. But that's part of the it seems to be part of the diaspora thought process of what we do. It's like, if I fall out with the Baba, oh my God, is he gonna work
do something to me? Yeah.
It's like that's like a normal trigger. Seems to be, oh my God, they're gonna do something, and it's like, and I'm not saying because you got some people out here that do that, you know what I mean. However, that's not what this is about. See, our elders, they started. A lot of our elders were nationalists, like we always say. They were nationalists, so they were about the cultural restoration,
right?
And they found their ancestral lineage and the culture to fuse that African Pan-Africanism into what we do now as Yoruba chiefs and priests. Those are just titles, but the energy and the force comes from that Pan-Africanism. So the Pan-Africanism merged with the African tradition or the Yoruba tradition is what's supposed to spring up all of these villages that we're supposed to have around this country.
And we're supposed to be thriving because we spend plenty of money.
We go to the football and to the sports bar and to the club and spend all that money.
Yeah, and shout out to the people that are doing these things in their communities.
Because there are some.
Right.
Because there are some.
People that are using our ashe for positivity, for uplifting, for healing, for blessings, for protections, as opposed to the opposite.
Right.
So that is what cultural restoration is supposed to be about. And, I think some of it is the fact that we've kind of lost that mindset, because once we understand the mission, we're smart enough to figure it out. even if we don't know how to do a thing, if we understand the assignment, if we understand the assignment, then we can go back and figure that thing out. I think our biggest problem is we have lost the understanding of what the assignment is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So once we get back on that and understand the mission and our assignment as, you know, Omo Duduwa people, Omo Ekara Ejire, Omo Yoruba people, then we should be able to come together and in nationhood and unity and power and basically, you know, almost rule ourselves and be a nation within a nation like other people do. So that the presidential, these federal elections or the president is for them, it can kind of go either way because they pretty much got themselves, they holding themselves down.
But you know, before the African was sold into slavery, they actually, and they show it, they have it on a lot of these programs where they studied the skull of the African, the brain.
Benny.
And they discovered how they can basically control us. Mm-hmm. And we are Olokun people. Mm-hmm. So we can get caught up into the depths or get too deeply caught up into things or, you know, we can, what is the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for, we can get drawn into things too deep.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like we sleep. We can get distracted easy by one, religion. Mm-hmm. Religion is the worst thing.
Got us.
It's the thing that messes all black people up. It's religion. Religion, and you know, that whole illusion, we get caught up in the illusion of things. That's that kind of like Olokun energy where you just get, you know, you get sucked into these different realms. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's hard for us to come out of it. And so things like this here, we get sucked into it because it's like, wow, we get TV.
Go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, TV and all those things like that.
Get distraction.
You know. And so for us to stay out of that, African people have to stay busy.
Yeah.
That's why African people, if you go to any country in Africa, they so busy. Mm-hmm. These people are busy. They ain't got no time. The little kids, when I went to Nigeria, the little kids, they busy.
Yeah, you gotta hustle or you don't eat.
They hustling.
They don't have no food stamp cards.
They don't have time to sit down and cock their feet
EBT,
up and watch the football game
all day.
You know?
They don't have Section 8. They don't have none of that. You gotta hustle to make it to survive. So you know, that's the gist of the cultural restoration movement and what it is and what we should be doing with it. You know, there is no cultural restoration movement if we're not feeding ourselves, growing our own food. Look at all the recalls recently with all the bagged vegetables. The Nature's Promise, organic baby carrots, E. coli. That's the latest one. I think before that it was the bagged broccoli. Right. And before that it was the bagged some spinach or something else. So every other week it's a massive recall because of E. coli. You know, this is all part of cultural restoration, is being able to feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, house ourselves, educate ourselves, and do business with ourselves.
Sure.
That's what the cultural restoration movement is. And pray and operate in our tradition and the cultures of our ancestors, which includes the spiritual system.
Sure.
That's just part of it. But most people, we've just picked up that part and we put the rest down. So that's all we're saying, is that we got to be mindful of that. It's not just what we see most people doing now, but we got to get back to the other stuff. You know what I mean?
Like our elders used to say, you got to have a cultural ego about this. Like, don't have an ego because you babalawo or you a priest or you know, like that shouldn't be what get blow your head up.
Benny.
Because those things are there for you to be humble. You get initiated to humble yourself, not to get a
not
big head,
to blow your head
not
up.
to blow your head
right.
up. So, you know, you see these things like people get initiated and their head becomes swollen, and it's like, no, actually, you're supposed to be humble.
Yeah,
and you're supposed to be seeing what needs to be done. And if you're going to open up an ELA, your ELA should be geared towards cultural restoration.
I say. And it's just basically about making our lives better.
I share.
You know what I mean? In every way. So this has been another episode of Let's Talk IFA question and answer Q&A.
I share.
Please send your questions to letstalkifa@gmail.com. Any requests for divination or other services, send them to that same email. We give thanks and praise in the name of Olodumare and the ancestors. For now, we're going to sign out. I am Awo Ifa Jaminire.
I am Awo Ifa Tegunshe.
And you were tuned into
the best,
the greatest
podcast
on
the planet
Earth.
Let's Talk IFA. Odabo.
Odabo.